sleeve shirt. It's probably gonna be a minute before everybody comes in, anyways. I was just thinking about today while I was at work. I was thinking about some of the books because somebody asked me, "What are you reading as far as consciousness?" And I thought, man, that would be a great topic, a great idea to do for one of these episodes. At least one of these, either vertical live, which I'm doing with the camera here, or the regular live, which I'm doing with this camera here, in case you're seeing me look between this camera and that camera. Um, but no, I made a small list of books that I would recommend basically to anybody that maybe is just starting out with maybe a consciousness journey. And so, without any further ado, I'm going to slowly talk about them. So, the first book, obviously, if you watch my channel, I'm a huge fan of Itzhak Bentov and his book, Stalking the Wild Pendulum. Even though it's a pretty hard read, I actually wrote an ebook. It's a companion one. It's a lot easier to digest, and that's usually what I give people. I do give it away for free every once in a while. I'll put the links down in the description. But Stalking the Wild Pendulum has a lot of really good stuff. It's him being an engineer, coming from like early years, and his whole concepts. They were just great. His diagrams are amazing. I'm a huge fan of diagrams, so that's really what suckered me in a little bit. And then when he started talking about a meditation, I was like, oh, I was super interested, and I went to go do a research. Let me see what the Bentov meditation is, and I found out nobody had really developed one. And so I literally went down, reread all of his works, watched again all of his lectures, got my hands on everything I could, and every time he said something about meditation, I literally wrote it down. In the end, I put a pretty good little chunk of information together. I do the meditation on the channel. I've released a couple ebooks about it, everything I've got. The man just died so young. American Airlines 191 going down. He was 55, I want to say. It was just such a tragedy to lose somebody like that so young. Um, but yeah, welcome in everybody. Like I said, just talking about Itzhak Bentov. That would be one of the books I would recommend. These are in no order. I just want to talk about some of the books that I would try to read if you get time. I know that books are not the most popular thing nowadays, but I do want to say that you can get books on audio now, and all of these books I'm going to mention are super popular. They're well known amongst the community. They're respected. They're not just some junk reads. These are the following books that I would recommend to people. So, Itzhak Bentov, Stalking the Wild Pendulum. I'm going to put that on there. It was one of my favorite reads. Definitely has changed the way I see things and believe things. The second one I'm going to call is The Conscious Mind by David Chalmers. And this is one, it's a classic on the hard problems of consciousness. Another is Waking Up by Sam Harris. And this one blends more like mindfulness and philosophy. So go check that out. Sam Harris, Waking Up, David Chalmers, The Conscious Mind. The other one that I want to throw a shout out to is Why Buddhism is True. I don't know if any of you have ever read that. That's by Robert Wright. That kind of connects evolutionary psychology and consciousness and mindfulness. I should say that. The last one that I'm going to put on the list, it's kind of a wild one, but I would definitely go and read it. It's one that I enjoyed. The title is The Man Who Mistook His Wife for a Hat by Oliver Sacks. It's a beautiful look at how altered states of consciousness. So that's definitely one. I'll put my links in the description if you want to know my top books on consciousness, books that blew my mind, things that I didn't think of, things that are outside of the box. And once you start looking in that direction of outside of the box, it's pretty cool. Yeah, David Chalmers, The Conscious Mind, Sam Harris, Waking Up. Robert writes Why Buddhism is True. Oliver Sacks, The Man Who Mistook His Wife for a Hat. And then Itzhak Bentov's Stalking the Wild Pendulum is an amazing read. So I would go out there and I get those. There's others. I just wanted to keep the list short. Bentov wrote a couple other ones that I would also recommend because I really liked them. Tom Campbell's My Big Toe is another really good book. Bob Monroe had a whole kind of little series thing there. That's worth checking out. Bob Monroe, Tom Campbell. Those are two that names that I would definitely still go to. A lot of these are from back in the day, but not a lot of that's changed. Some of the science and some of the whatever it might has changed. A little bit more theory has refined. Some things have been a little bit different. But Tom Campbell still has his main website and his binaural type beats, his Tom's Park, his that whole thing. And Bob Monroe, the Monroe Institute, still cranking out stuff. You can go onto their website, monroeinstitute.org, and they've got all sorts of crazy stuff on there. So I have been going down that rabbit hole. I'm hunting, and I ended up, there. I found out that it's just going to keep being a journey, and that's a great thing. Don't get me wrong. And for a while, I was looking for answers, and I don't feel like I've come to this thing that it's not about the answers, and it's kind of about the questions because you're learning, but it's more about enlightenment over life. I don't know. So I don't know. I definitely wanted to read more this year on more advanced stuff, and I'm hoping to definitely write some more books and get some stuff. Appreciate you guys. Thank you. Nope, can't rap on here. This ain't that channel. I appreciate you stopping by, though. Old Zoo. No, much thanks, much appreciation being here. Much love, much respect. I'm just coming on here talking my stuff, getting some stuff off my chest. A lot of times I like talking about smart talk and dumb times. I think that's what we're living right now. I see stuff all the time or somebody like, I'm blown away and I shouldn't be blown away. Like I've seen so much crazy stuff. I'll turn 48 this year. Well, coming from California, man, I thought I'd seen a lot. Thought I'd seen a lot of things, but welcome. Welcome in, everybody. Thanks for checking out the channel. Like I said, it's not going to be for everybody, but I can, I like coming on here and doing the lives. I'm doing a vertical live and a regular live right now. I do a YouTube short and a long form video, but I still have that you can't just make short after stuff. Really it's more of a podcast form factor, but I appreciate you guys being here. Like I said, I'm trying to get my practice down. My hope is at the end of the year, I'll look back and look at these channels and see some progress. But yeah, I'm hoping that I can at least talk somebody into trying meditation this year. I know how much it helped me. Like I was learning about breath work, trying some yoga, and I'm really going to go down that path. I'm in this process right now of moving from basically out Michigan way, moving out towards the West Coast. I'm going to stop in some areas, see some things. I'm a little nervous about it. This trip, going cross country ain't what it used to be. I'm hoping to find some spots that enjoy life, just enjoy some peace, some serenity, just some chilling vibes, maybe just get away from people. I found that when I was going cross country, as you get into the middle of the United States, there just got to be less and less people. In fact, there was a stretch of road I didn't see anybody for 50 miles, and it was weird. I kind of stopped the car and got out and went, wow, man, this is about the farthest. I mean, I know you can go hiking in woods and stuff like that, and I like doing that, but it's just so strange too to go from being in such a cow herded area to being just out in some open land. I feel like one of those, animals released from the shelter or the cage. It's like I'm not sure coming out of my cage. I'm like, Do I run? Do I, you know, that just it's crazy. I felt that way when, especially when I was going cross country. But I don't know about the U.S. It's so messed up right now. I'm wanting to stay here. I'm wanting to try to stick it out, but man, are they trying to price me out of this place? I'm trying to make a life, trying to make a living. I'm going where I'm wanting to go, but man, things just what we get here in the United States. I feel like I don't know. I'm getting shortchanged. I feel like I'm paying 2 or 3 times more than I was when I was in my 20s or 30s, and I'm getting, even though I live a very modest life, man. And I thought, man, if I'm living a modest life, I don't know how some of you are doing it. I not what can we do? That was the pinch of it all. So, oh, you can vote or you can. Like, man, nothing like that's really been happening. So, anyways, just wanted to get some of that out. I have considered other places. I'm not familiar with some other countries. I had thought about Europe. I had thought about Mexico or Canada has really been a big idea for me for a little while, is to go up there and become a writer, maybe a yoga instructor, trying to do something professional up there, just to squeak out a living where health insurance, you know, I'm going to tell you one horrible story that happened. So we have this government marketplace insurance where we have to pay X amount of dollars. A lot of other people have to pay like $1,500 a month here in Michigan. That's what I'm hearing, around there, 1,000 to 1,500 a month for, a couple or family or whatever. And that's just outrageous. I pay a lot less because I don't make as much and I don't have kids. But what I'm paying for, I can't see a doctor. There's not going to be a doctor available until September, even though I really need to get my blood pressure checked. I want to make sure that I'm healthy. I want to just check. I want to see a doctor regularly, and that just doesn't happen. Not even when you pay that good money can you see a really doctor regularly. Well, are you hurt? Are you dying? And no, I just want to see a doctor regularly. I think you should, especially if you're starting a new diet, or you're trying to do exercise, yoga. I got questions. Oh, well, they're tell a doc for. And it's like, man, I feel like I'm getting shortchanged. I'm feeling like I'm paying a lot and not getting as much. But you know what? That's just the way it is. Especially in this small town right now. I understand private insurance. I understand other insurance. And other things. Luckily, I live a fairly healthy life. I'm fairly healthy. I'm not in any medications. I don't. But I am, like I said, I'll be turning 48 this year. I do want to get really checked up. I need my shingles shot. I need to get blood drawn. I need to get some things checked out. Just to try to stay as healthy as I can. And our healthcare systems. I know if it's failing me, like, and I'm trying, for a lot of Americans who not sure where to go and don't have the resources and willingness to look like I do. I know a lot of people are hurting right now, and I know that we're in this situation primarily because of the rich. And if you're rich, you don't have this problem. You don't have to think about this, not as often, not as much. But if you're, if you're poor to middle class, or maybe you're elderly on reserved income, this could be something. So I do appreciate you guys being here. Thanks for listening. I just remember a time when there was pensions. You guys remember a time when there was pensions? There was people getting drawn to pensions, and they were getting from the company. And now you'll be lucky unless stocks were given out, and then well, we can't give them out. We'll match them, and then it ended up, well, we can do 50. And then just sometimes it's just over time. I understand money needs to be kind of made, and things need to be the shareholders and that kind of stuff. I understand capitalism. I know, I've been in retail my whole life. You can only squeeze a turnip so much. I appreciate it. It should be, I'm probably not talking very loud. I am extremely tired right now. I worked all day, wrote a book, uploaded one earlier. Like, I've really been trying to do the grind, trying to be on YouTube, trying to still discover life. I'm trying to figure things out for myself. I got a huge cross country trip coming up. I got stuff to share too, but this background needs to go here soon, and that's what I'm gonna work on this weekend. So at least you get to see the channel and it's raw. Hopefully you'll join the journey, maybe see where I end up, see if this ends up going anywhere. Like I said, I started pretty humbly. I've got about 1,700 subscribers right now. A lot of them are from my consciousness research, my meditations, that kind of stuff. But I like to just come on here and I have no script. I don't need one. I don't feel, I do want to remember stuff that I talk about. So I am now going to just re-say the 5 books that I would recommend in consciousness in 2026. Right now, The Conscious Mind by David Chalmers, Waking Up by Sam Harris, Why Buddhism is True by Robert Wright, The Man Who Mistook His Wife for a Hat by Oliver Sacks, and finally, Stalking the Wild Pendulum by Itzhak Bentov. I wanted to get that out. Those are some epic books that I would recommend. I understand not everybody has the time to read. Audiobooks are available. I wish they made movies about these with famous actors. I wish that they would make just to bring that information to the world. Instead of each year, it feels like it gets buried. I ask a lot of people, you ever heard of Itzhak Bentov? And they're like, who? I was like, man. I know Stalking the Wild Pendulum was a cool book for me, there's a lot on here that things that we'd miss, but I appreciate you guys being here. Thanks for hanging out. Nope, I'm going to work on this over the next few days. I've got to get the background situation going. Like I said, I'm actually doing this live on the regular live, and we'll be posting this up for replay later. I'm just dialing things down. I do have kind of a setup here, and just so you guys can see. Here, I'll flip this around really quick. Isn't that kind of cool? We're working on it. We're getting there. One brick at a time. I actually built that. I built that a while ago. I'm going to build another one. In fact, I'm going to go online tonight and take a look. But I appreciate you guys being here. If you have any questions, post them down below. In fact, I was just going to let this run a little while I was going to do some work too. But I don't want to gum up the stream with a bunch of boring stuff. If you have questions, let me know. Put them down in the comments section. Go take a look at my videos. That's the best thing I can do. Hit a like here and there. Help support the channel. And as always, you guys have a beautiful one. I'm going to hang out. It's Thursday. This weekend, starting tomorrow, 2 free ebooks. Absolutely free. You can go on and download them. Keep them forever. Just see my books. See what they're about. Use them. Try to. I always say this at the end of the day, is that if I can convince just one person to try meditation and it changes their life for the better, start getting in shape, start working out a little bit, start diving into consciousness, maybe going, for me, I'm taking a class or 2 here and there just to get back up there. I do think that this journey is a mountain, and for some people, they're able to ski up the thing, and for us, some of us, we have to crawl up it, and that's where we're at, and I'm okay with that. I'm totally okay with that, because guess what? We're going up the mountain, and I plan on getting up that mountain one way or another, and I feel like I am. I feel positive about this. I feel great about the channel. I feel great about my books that I'm writing, and that's just where I need to be. I think that's where a lot of people need to be. So stay positive, stay frosty. And what I can tell you is, if you need advice, if you have questions, I think I'm going to try to be a life coach too in some way. I feel like I have enough positivity sometimes to carry some of the people that are around me. I recognize that they're not always in the best situation. A little bit easier for me to see things. I always thought about going back to school, picking up a degree in something like that. So anyways, thank you for joining, you guys. You have been a great audience tonight. What's this at? We're almost at 20 minutes. Oh yeah. We've had a lot of fun tonight. I appreciate you guys coming here. Like I said, the best thing you can do is help go support the channel. I'm going to keep working. Going to keep doing my research. I'm doing some Tom Campbell stuff. Still working on Bob Monroe. I've uploaded a few videos here and there. I'm working on some ebooks about them, and just really working hard. But I appreciate once again you guys being here, and have a beautiful evening. I've got to go. This is 20 minutes, and I don't want to keep you guys here longer than you have to. I will have some more great stuff ready to go for tomorrow. Adios.